Yo, what's up everybody? So I'm here with my good friend Dante Santiago, and he's gonna talk to us a little bit about what he does in music and kind of how you can get there, how you can start. I think a lot of the times people don't know exactly how to start, or you just hear about all these different kinds of jobs and stuff. So he's probably one of the most best placed people that I know. He's had all kinds of experiences, toured the world, all of that kind of stuff. So Dante, why don't you tell us, what do you do exactly in the music industry?
Well, I started as an artist and dancer. As the years went on, I became an A&R, which is artist and repertoire. That means finding the talent and grooming them. And now I'm head of A&R, I'm an executive producer, and I own my own company as well.
So how does somebody start? Like, if I wanted to become an A&R, how do I get into it?
Some people have a knack for it. That means an ear, or are able to find talent. The way I did it, I was in the studios, being around certain artists, listening to certain songs, just observing. When you're around enough people, you learn how to work with people, how to talk to them. And me being an artist myself, I knew how to find the talent because I know what I can do and I know what I can bring to an artist's life as far as guiding them to be the best they can be.
Observing people is quite important, isn't it? Just to like learn from others. I mean, do you have any examples, I guess, through your career of when you were like observing a certain person, and that what did you learn in that instance from that person that you've used in the future?
Like Will.i.am, for instance. I was in Black Eyed Peas originally, and then I went solo, and then as time went on, I became a behind the scenes type person. Even though I've sung on a lot of songs, I just felt more comfortable being behind the scenes. So as I did that, I was able to help Will.i.am become the producer he's become, and that came from just seeing the talent, whether he, a strong MC, a songwriter, and producer. He could do it all. So I saw this in him, and seeing it, I was able to pull stuff out of him, give him guidance to what he should do this way and that way. And then he pretty much, the talent spoke for itself. So, and the way it helped me is it empowered me to feel more confident to find other artists and do the same things with them.
So if somebody finds, like a friend of theirs, someone that they feel has talent, what should they do with that person? I mean, where do they bring that, that music to? Like, if you don't know anybody and you're starting out, how can you get people to do that?
Bring them to me. Well, that's a part of being a manager.
Yeah.
So you have different spectrums. You have management, you have A&Ring, you have producing, songwriting.
That's all to bring the talent out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, basically.
So you have to figure out, I guess when you're starting and you find something like that, you have to figure out what role do you want to be? Do you want to be a manager? Do you want to be a producer?
Exactly.
A&R? And then once you decide, you got to try and figure out. I mean, that's what we're going to explain. Really, it's just kind of like the next steps.
Now, if you want to be a manager, then school is good for that.
Business side of things.
Getting
a business diploma, you think, or what?
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
And then there's books as well, like, on the music industry.
Yeah.
Like, you can get online, or you could go on YouTube and.
I mean, I always. That's why YouTube, I think, is so powerful, because it's just a lot of kids now. Like, even me, I don't really like to read that much. So it's just watching all those videos and just listening to people speak, people have experience and stuff like that. Then you kind of, hopefully, in each video, there's something that you can pull out and use for yourself.
Right.
Just figuring out how to use that information for yourself.
Right.
But I mean, I guess as far as what you've done, though, as far as like being an A&R, you don't really need a diploma, do you? It's kind of it's more your own initiative, right? It's your own motivation.
Yep.
So what would you say is, what kind of advice would you give people really?
And also there's steps.
Yeah.
So to answer that question, you could start as an intern and then build your way up every step of the way.
Yeah.
I know a lot. You were an intern. You know what I'm saying? As far as like this guy right here was on the road with us for years. He started out as an intern, an assistant like that,
and then kind of like a slave as well.
No. And then he became who he became. He's now a partner of mine, which is ironic.
Yeah.
And but he's living proof of starting out from the bottom.
Yeah.
And now he's.
I think what it is really accepting. It's accepting that at the beginning you're just gonna do whatever. And I like, as far as I go, like at the beginning I just did anything. Like I remember with you guys, it was just like I did websites, and I remember how crappy they were. Like I remember people telling me after, like, this is not so good, and just graphics and all that kind of stuff, And but through all those things, I learned different things, and like certain elements of those things that I learned and I'm still using now, and also doing all those different jobs in the industry or those just random things means that I kind of figured out what I like and what I don't like.
Exactly.
And I think you've done a lot of different things in the music industry too. So now you know kind of where you're strongest at, right? So that's really important. But I mean, beyond that, I think, what would you say, I guess, to finish it off, what would you say as far as like a motivational thing, as far as like how, what the worst thing is your own mind. Like sometimes you just want to give up, and because at the beginning, especially, like people always turn on you, or it's easy for people to just kind of like, push you to the side. So how do you keep going, in those instances to believe that you're actually going to get to where you want to go?
Well, just from experiences, when you have people like Drake or Rihanna or Jay-Z or you name it. Like I've come across Michael Jackson, for instance. When you come across these people and they acknowledge your talent and what you do. A lot of people could come up to you and say, oh, you're the best singer in the world, or you could dance out of the building. But when you have people come to you and say, I appreciate what you do, that should let you know right there, like, damn, I'm doing something right. Yeah. And you could be an intern. You could say you're an intern, and I'll use you for instance. You started as an intern, and then as we grew along, when you helped me with my artist career, and then the websites and all that stuff, then it came to a point where it was full circle, because I said, you brought an idea to me about partnership, and I was like, yes, because you grew.
It's initiative, isn't it? It's initiative, just taking your own initiative and kind of...
You grew, man.
Pushing as hard as you can, I think. Like, once you accept that people are going to tell you no, or people are just going to like not take you seriously, you do your own thing. And then the way I started and stuff was a lot of like, I just did my own things, and then that's how people gave me attention. You know what I mean? Without me doing those things, why would anybody give me attention? I would just be like everybody else. But anyway, I think we should leave it there. But if anybody has any comments, just drop them below.